Hey, thanks for taking a moment to watch this video. I know most of the time we provide our monthly updates via email, and there's some great content in there again this month, but I wanted to take a moment and make this update interactive. So we've invested in a new technology called Helixa. Name, not really important. What does it do? That's important. If you've been through strategic planning with us, you know one of the biggest questions we ask and we dwell on is, who in the world is the ideal member at your credit union? Tell us everything about them. There's some good information we get, but a lot of it's educated guesses too, trying to get inside the mind of your ideal member. Sometimes you're close, sometimes you're not. With Helixa, we can learn a whole lot about your ideal member and use it strategically. If you've got a digital marketing budget, Helixa is going to allow us to really zero in on that ideal member, understanding who they are, where we can reach them, what they like, very specifically. First, I want to show you this Helixa sizzle reel. It's going to be a brief introduction into what in the world Helixa is, but stay right there because when we come back, I'm going to show you specifically how we're going to use this for your credit union.
Helixa is an audience intelligence tool designed to help you connect more effectively with the audiences that matter most to you. Helixa takes social data, which we augment with information from data.gov and the US Census to make it representative and give you in-depth information on many different types of audiences. We observe real-time social interactions of millions of individuals and apply machine learning algorithms to calculate their interests and affinities. We use this proprietary affinity model to score the strength of users' engagement, which we then carefully weight to be representative of the US population. Let's take a look at the tool and go through a few examples of the type of information we can provide. Now that we're in the Helixa tool, I'll go ahead and type in an audience for us to look at. So let's say that we want to look at financially savvy individuals within the Denver metro area. I'll go ahead and type in finance, and we can go ahead and add finance as an interest to our audience, and then scroll down to add in Denver metro area. So let's call this financially savvy Denverites. I'll go ahead and search this and see what we get out of the tool. So here we have a general overview of this audience. We can see that they're about 50% male and female, mostly 35 to 44 years old, white, married, college educated, and of course living in the West. We also can see information into their interests, that they definitely are into reading, traveling, they care about politics, and they're also more likely to be business people. If I go down further, we can also see the types of influencers, interests, media, and products and services that this audience is engaging with. This is all based on social interest and engagement. So the types of content that these influencers and brands are putting out are going to be the same type of content that's really going to resonate with this audience overall. We can see that they have an interest in winter sports, entrepreneurs, writers, and liberal politicians. And in terms of products and brands, they're very into travel, insurance, and banks, as well as local news shows from a media perspective. We can also see these individual media properties, the specific local news channels that they're watching, and what types of travel brands they're into. We can see that in addition to companies and brands, we also have online communities such as Girls Love Travel. And from a banking perspective, we have both big banks and smaller local businesses. I'm now in the summary section to show you a few examples of pre-built reports. One being the design preferences. We can now see personality types for these financially savvy Denverites. We can see that they're very inventive and curious, they're efficient and organized, outgoing, slightly more analytical, and very secure and confident. This is super crucial to your marketing strategy because, of course, you're going to market and speak to someone who's super organized and outgoing, very different than someone who's super cautious and nervous. So this is a ocean model personality type, which is used in psychology And we also can see types of design preferences that they're into, such as what colors resonate most with them, what type of content they like, and more. Going into the interest section, we can further see brands and media. And of course, we have a separate section for influencers to see what types of content and brands really resonate with this audience. So we have a lot of local events and brands. Definitely those travel interests are pulling in here, and we can see where they're spending both their time and their money. Finance, science, and health are some of their top categories, and we can see individual brands within those below.
That's some pretty cool stuff, huh? But what in the world does that mean for your credit union? Let's take a quick spin through Helixa, how we would use this for your credit union. So I'm going to use an example from Jacksonville, Florida. I did strategic planning over the weekend, 2 back-to-back in Jacksonville, Florida. And I asked the credit union, who is your ideal member? And we came upon with this. It was about 25 to 45. Didn't matter if they had a high school diploma or not. Household income, they wanted between 40 and 100. And of course, we can zero right into Jacksonville, Florida. So that's what we're going to do here. And that's about all the information we had on the ideal member. There were some other guesses, like about what their credit score is, what their interests were. But all we wanted to do was put in this basic information and to go back and see how close was this credit union to understanding who their ideal member was. So when we put in this information, you get a brief demographics overview of who is that ideal member. Of course, they live in the South because we put in Jacksonville, Florida. A majority is going to be white female. They're going to be married with a college degree. Pretty basic information. But what else can we learn from this? We're going to go to some of the least important stuff first. We can learn who their influencers are. Who are they following on social media so that we can understand what content is important to them? What do they look for when they go online? So that when we're creating your online and social media content, we can be a little more specific and understand that ideal member. Of course, they're Florida Gators fans, also FSU fans. They love reality shows, online celebrities. They love music. They're very big fans of sports. And we can scroll down and get some more specific information. Who are they following on social media? Ryan Seacrest, of course, is one of the most popular. Some of the most popular singers and bands, you'll see right here. And of course, top athletes in sports, top actors, top television stars. We can really get inside the mind of who is your ideal member and what do they like. We can also take a look at their interests too. And of course, my apologies for the internet running a little bit slower as usual. Of course, when I'm doing this demo for you, is when things slow down. So top products and services. You can see some of the most popular social media pages that they follow right now in terms of beauty, games and sports, retail, apparel and fashion are some of the most popular ones. You can also break it down into the different categories. This one is really cool because if we're proposing a social media spend for you or a digital online spend, we can look and see where's your ideal member getting their news from? So we can focus a little bit more on where should we spend that money. And we can also find out where are your members banking at? Maybe not specifically, but what financial institutions are they following on social media and engaging with? So Security Bank is going to be one of the most popular that our ideal member is following and engaging with in Jacksonville, Florida, followed by Navy Federal. CUNA Mutual Group, I'm not sure how members know what CUNA Mutual Group is, but they're following it. Prime Lending, UPromise, Alliant Credit Union. You can also go down to Regions Bank. They go in order. So you can really see who your competition is. So if we want to learn more about your ideal member, if you were in Jacksonville, Florida, this was your ideal member, we would take a look at Security Bank and say, what are they doing? What are they offering? What are they putting on social media? Let's learn from who our ideal member is already doing business with. There's some cool stuff in psychographics as well. And again, I'm going to keep this very high level and very short. Your relationship development leader is going to get with you, and we're going to walk through this with you specifically for your credit union. They're netizens. Now, here's the cool thing. What in the world does that mean? You can click that. They're always online. If we're not sure what something means, we can go here and find specifically what that means. Now, when it comes to branding, we can look here and say, what are the colors that appeal to them? Vivid colors, followed by bright colors. So it's going to help our design team really understand what appeals to your ideal member and how do we use the colors in your brand, or do we need to look at the colors in your brand and perhaps talk about that? You can also look at fonts. So as our designers are using this tool and saying, what fonts appeal to our ideal member? Creative fonts, number one, standard font, nothing fancy. Some really cool information about how we can use this. Tone of voice, as well as we're writing copy for your emails, for your website. They prefer confident and warm tone, followed by serious professional tone. So nothing crazy. We're not going to be cracking a lot of dad jokes in there. Formality, kind of along the same line. They like it informal. As you can see, there's a ton of information in here. And we could really go down this rabbit hole and spend 3 hours on this video. I don't want to do that for you. Data usage is another one. They love data examples. That means they're extremely meticulous. They're going to ask detailed questions. So when we're writing copy for you, knowing this about your ideal member, it's going to help us really go into detail. We know that we're not going to put 3 bullet points on there. We might put a paragraph to make sure that they have the information that they need. So now you've been introduced to Helixa at a very basic high level. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be getting with you specifically. We'll walk through the data for your credit union, talk about what it means, talk about what we've learned, stuff we didn't know about your ideal member. That's also going to translate into what in the world are we doing with 2023 marketing plans. Helixa is going to play a big piece in that when we're talking about promotions, tone, and just your marketing overall. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, bo at yourmarketingco.com. We look forward to sharing more about Helixa with you and utilizing this tool strategically for your credit union.